Hi everyone, in this video I would like to explain about the relationship between two variables. Anyway, so in the research question you have here, is there any significant correlation between writing achievement and growth mindset? So we have two variables here. The first one is writing achievement and the second one is growth mindset. And we are going to see whether there is a significant correlation. And then we need to make a hypothesis. For HO, there is no significant correlation between writing achievement and growth mindset. That's our test hypothesis. And then alternatively, if it is rejected, there is a significant correlation between writing achievement and growth mindset. So that's our hypothesis. And then let's start the example here. Okay, so here we have the data writing achievement and also growth mindset. So the first step is to copy the writing achievement data and then you open SPSS and then you paste data writing achievement into SPSS. Next, you back to the Excel again, you click growth mindset data and then you copy the growth mindset into SPSS as well. Okay, the data that we are going to analyze, so we click on the variable view and then in the column name we will change it to the sign of writing achievement, which is WA, and then for growth mindset we will change it into GM. Next, in the label column we will also change it to writing achievement, and the second one column growth mindset. For the value column, we don't need to change anything. And in the measure column, we change them both to scale because none of the variables here are ordinal or nominal. So, these are our variable description. So, first process that you have to follow to analyze the data, you need to analyze the data whether this is normal or not. So, you can use Kolmogorov-Smirnov test or Shapiro-Wilk test. And then in here, for every variable, so you have to check the normality of the data for every variable. And if it is yes, both of the variables are normal. Let's analyze our data now. First of all, we are going to check whether the data is normal or not. This is what you have to do. You click analyze and then descriptive statistic and then explore. You need to put the two variables into the dependent list. And then we don't have any factor list because we don't group them. Next, you click plots, click histogram and also normality plot with tests. Next, you click continue and then OK. So yeah, this is the result for the test of normality. As you can see here, you can also copy the tables into the Word. You can see from the data here, both of them are normal. For writing achievement, the p-value is above 0.05. So the data is normally distributed. And also for growth mindset, the p-value is above 0.05. So based on the Kolmogorov Smirnov, both of the variables are normal, as well as from Shapiro-Wilk analyze here, because both of the significant value or the p-value here is above 0.05, so you can see that both of the variables are normal. Next, you can see from the graph here, double click on this picture and then you see this one, and then you click this, show distributed curve, choose the normal curve, and then you can see the expected normal curve, right? And you scroll until you find the second one graph, and also it seems that is quite good for the normality. Double click on these pictures and then you click this, you have the normal distributed. We can go to the next step. We need to check the linearity of the two variables. How to do that is by clicking analyze and then compare means, and means here. In here you have to define which one is dependent variable or independent variables. In here we need to choose one variable for dependent list and one variable for independent list. And then you click option, you click this one, test for linearity, because we are going to check the test for linearity, and then click continue and then click OK. Yeah, you have this table, the ANOVA table. You also can copy this table into the Word. What you are interested in seeing is that these two, linearity and then deviation from linearity, like our flowchart here. So we have deviation from linearity test first, and then the linearity test. So let's see the deviation from linearity test. So we can see here in this table deviation from linearity, in the deviation from linearity column, we can see the question, does it deviate from linearity? If the value is above 0.05, then we can continue using percent correlation. But if the p-value is below 0.05, then we need to use Spearman correlation. Next, in the linearity test column, there is the question, is it significant? If the answer is yes, meaning the value is below 0.05, then we can use percent correlation. But if the answer is no, meaning the p-value is greater than 0.05, then we will use Spearman correlation. So we back to the table. As you can see in the deviation from linearity table, the p-value is greater than 0.05, so there is no deviation from linearity. Then let's move on the linearity test. We can see that the significance value in this column is also greater than 0.05, so we can conclude that this data is not significant. Therefore, we will continue to test the hypothesis using Spearman correlation. Then we can now go to check the hypothesis or test the hypothesis. How to check that? It's by seeing the graph and legacy dialogues, and then you have a scatter plot, here and click on that, and then we use the simple scatter plot. Define, and you can define which one is the x-axis, which one is the y-axis. In here, let's see the writing achievement is on the y-axis, and then growth mindset is in the x-axis, and then you click OK. Now you can see these dots. So these are the relationship between writing achievement and the growth mindset as well. We don't have any straight line. We know that there is a significant straight line from the linearity here and deviation from linearity, but now it is not very clear. To see that, you have to double click on the picture here. You can see from the picture there, and then you have this one, exit line at total. You click on that, so here you have a linear correlation. Yeah, just a linear one, and then just click apply, close. Now you have the line. As you can see, the line, it is like a negative line because the line is going downward. Next, we are going to check now, test the hypothesis. You click analyze and then correlate and bivariate. Yeah, because we have two variables, that's why it's bivariate. In here you pick that, and then you need to check which variables that you are going to analyze. In this case, we have these two, writing achievement and growth mindset. Put them in the variables here, and then here you click Spearman correlation because the data is no significant linearity, and you also have click this one, flag significant correlation. You click OK, and then you have this table correlation. So let me copy into the Word. So in here you see the table of correlation. In the table we can see that both data have significance values above 0.05, which means the correlation is not significant. So we can conclude that there is no significant correlation between writing achievement and growth mindset. So that's it. That's for the correlation analysis. And then the correlation analysis is to see the relationship between two variables. Yeah, I think that's all. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.